Hello and welcome to the APTA's Grand Prix Series, the Western New England, sponsored by the APTA national sponsors Viking, Fusion, Upswing Health, and My Paddle, and local sponsors Goodroot, McKenna and Cobain Family Orthodontics, Everest Vodka, and Collins Electric. We are live from the Longmeadow Field Club in Massachusetts on the APTA network presented by ProFlight Live. I'm Jerry Viant, along with Brad Easterbrook, bringing you the men's semi-final between Juan Araya and Mark Parsons, and the number one seeds, Johan Durant and Stephen Mitchell. And you can see the players are warming up on the court, Brad. We're in for quite a match.
Yes, we are, Jerry. This should be a great battle. And against, two former national champions teams. And we have, let's see, 8, 9, 10 national championships out there on the court right now. So real quickly, I'll introduce the players out there. On the top left of our screen in the white top is Johan Durant, 4-time national champion. He is the director of racket sports at the Country Club in Massachusetts, and his partner to his left there in all black on the top right of the screen is Stephen Mitchell, and he is the director of racket sports at the Brainerd Country Club in Massachusetts. And to the bottom right of our screen is Juan Araya. He's the director of racket sports at Greenwich Country Club in Connecticut. And his partner, Mark Parsons, to the bottom left of the screen with the red cap on, who is the director of racket sports at Aspetuck Country Club. So 4 teaching pros out here and 4 extremely talented players, Jerry.
Yes. And why don't we take a look at the draw, because we have had a little bit of an upset on the bottom half of the draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see that the number 2 seeds, Hughes and Powers, went out to Court and Grangero, Jeremy Court and Marco Grangero. Marco Grangero, semi-finalist in the men's nationals at Darien. I think that's 2018, 19, somewhere. Just so that's a very good win for them. Durant Mitchell beat Leprevet and Prosenko in a very good match, and Araya Parsons just destroyed Bostrom and Broderick. I mean, it was 1-1, and I don't think I've seen Araya play so focused and so well, and Parsons as they did. So I'm really looking forward to this being a top match. And also down the bottom, Borish and Odora over Humphreys and Lefevre. So that match, Boris and Eudora Court Grangero, is on our second streaming court, which you can go to and find on the YouTube channel. You will hear the score. We don't have any commentating, but you will be able to hear the score and follow that match on a separate channel. So let's get back to the match that we're streaming. And I've got him. And you can hear that is our she's actually not our umpire, our scorekeeper, Lisa Doherty, and she will be calling out the score for us during the match. We don't have umpires due to the COVID restrictions, so we don't have anybody in the chair, so players will be calling their own lines. But Lisa will keep us up to date with the score.
We'll stay with the same format we've been having all day long, which is second deuce will be a sudden death point. Sir. And the receiving team can choose who's receiving. So we have right here Stephen Mitchell to start play.
And of course, Johan Durant on the left, hitting those overheads for many years. Played with Mark Parsons in the red. They have some national titles together. So it's always very interesting when you have players, who know their opponents very, very well, playing against each other.
It sure is, Jerry. There's
Love
2
30.
Kind of easy overhead misses there from Durant as he feels out the court, letting the ball drop. Just nets him. It is great
40.
to see an animated and focused Juan Araya, very mercurial player, but one of the most talented in the game for sure. And when he's on his A game, he is explosive.
540.
They did bring their A game in the previous match.
I mean, so far so good for Araya
Parsons.
Parsons. That was an A game from them. I'd have had to grade that first game from Durant Mitchell. We'll just say incomplete at this point. A couple overheads and a couple volleys. So.
So Juan Araya serving.
Love 15.
I was just going to say, do you think that the shadows in the sun is going to be a little tricky? You can see the shadows across the court.
I do, Jerry.
Hard to pick up the ball.
I think it does create sort of a strobe effect when the ball goes into the dark and into the light. You can see Araya on his first serve. He dumped it in the net. He's clearly looking up at the sky. It's a great blitz from Mitchell.
Love
Both
40.
teams very active with the blitz in the first goings.
Now you see Mitchell and Durant changing sides, switching in the back. That was a little
40.
ambitious.
A little out of his reach there.
Well, kind of feels like Mitchell's is just trying to get his juices flowing, and if I can reach it, I'm gonna hit it.
40 love try there. Definitely was not in his zone. First few games, getting your feet underneath you. It's an absolutely beautiful day out there at the Longmeadow Field Club, but I'll tell you, the players would probably rather it be cloudy, like you were saying before. You don't have to deal with the shadows. Jerry, you were saying before how the players know each other so well. And
30,
if you
40.
know Mark Parsons well, you know he hits that forehand into the nick all the time. You got to be reading that and getting ready to block it. Terrific shot.
Speaking of Mark Parsons, Brad, let's talk a bit about his positioning at net. He has the widest stance when his partner is serving.
Yes, he's very low. It actually just helps him sort of get down. He uses a two-handed volley. He's a much better volleyer than, he's known for. He's just, his backhand is so good. That's all people talk about, but he's a very good position volleyer. He's not an offensive volleyer per se. Doesn't close in on the net, hit drop volleys, or do anything like that, but he's terrific at position volley play. As you can see in the early goings here, they're going after Mitchell. When they're switching in the court, every ball right back at Mitchell. Oh. And there's a stray.
Even if that had gone over.
Games are won.
Even if that had gone over, Durant was already over by the side screen and halfway, up the court.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think it was a stray from the plan, for Araya to go for that hard, difficult overhead to the side there. Love 15. This is Johan Durant serving in this game.
And you see Araya Parsons just stay back, even though that lob landed in. They don't want to get caught in transition.
Yeah, and it's actually rare not to see Araya run forward and try to do a transition game. To some degree, it has to be a measure of just respect for that type of shot that you just saw there from Durant. Right. You run in, and it gets him a target to hit behind it. He didn't even see Parsons, yet he felt his presence and slipped it by him. Just a terrific shot.
Huge returner serve.
30 all.
Brad, wouldn't you say, Araya and Durant are probably two of the best point
30,
enders
40.
in the game? They have that array of shots, especially at net, to just win the point.
Absolutely, and it's a big difference maker in the matches.
Araya Parsons.
If you're playing that tight match and you have an opponent who can cut an overhead short and just finish the point, you have to be wary, and it takes certain shots out of your repertoire. It's very difficult to use off-pace drives and other things, but loose play so far in the beginning, just first game, faults, missed volleys. Same thing there. It was really just a two-fault game. But the returns look sharp.
You know, and with this underarm and sidearm serve, keeping the ball lower. The trick is also to get it deep in the court because you still they're still coming in behind it. Parsons still goes with the overhead serve.
He made a heck of a volley to keep it away from a blitzing Mitchell.
15 love.
Jerry, you know, everybody out there is champions and competitors. Do you think this match has more significance to, say, Araya and Parsons, who, you know, lost basically in the quarterfinals of the last, you know, tournament they played, missed their chance playing these guys last time, haven't had a tournament win yet, and Durant Mitchell, you know, on board with a couple already.
Yeah. And the last time these guys played was in Philly. And I believe Araya Parsons won that, having lost to Durant Mitchell twice before. So they haven't played each other this year, as in the 2021 season.
40 love. $40-15.
Yeah, the exclamation from Parsons. He definitely wasn't planning on that.
What
40,
a return.
30.
Durant's just on top of the ball. I wonder if we can grab a replay of that. He just is way on top of that, and that serve is kicking up, so he can just thump it straight down.
Games, Araya Parsons. They lead 3-1.
You'll see strictly underhand serves from Mitchell and
15
Durant,
love.
and pretty much strictly overhand serves from Araya and Parsons. Oh, digs it but cannot get it in.
Love.
You know, I just want to correct and clarify. Amin Kaduri, our CEO, just sent me a text that they played in our first Grand Prix. How could I forget? At Darien, where Durant Mitchell defeated Araya Parsons.
40 love.
That feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it's a different world out there, right?
We've been streaming.
Day by day, Jerry, day by day.
All right, I got it.
Game, Durant Mitchell. Araya Parsons leads 3-2.
So we haven't seen a point last, I think, more than 15 balls yet, Jerry, have we?
I was just going to say that. I mean, the patient, let's set it up. What do we have? We're going for the big shots.
Well, it's been a lot of serve and return, you know, initial errors from the begin with, and heavy driving, you know. So we'll see if one team, I mean, clearly this pace isn't going to completely continue the entire way, and both teams are just going to settle down.
Well, we've seen a much more patient Durant in previous tournaments. There's a willingness to stay in there and wait for the right shot.
15 love.
Nice little nick.
That's 2 for Parsons there, for Mark Parsons in the red. Both going for winners.
Just
30
long.
love.
I love that sneaky little flick from Araya. It has the ability to really thump the ball, and then there you saw him just hold it and flick it.
35.
He's got a terrific back, and he holds the ball better than probably anyone else on that side. He's one of the few people who can generate some offense from the one-hand
45.
backhand.
It's just his preparation is so early. switching, putting Araya on the left. Oh, huge
40-30.
forehand by Mitchell.
As Mitchell's forehand return to serve and forehand off the deck were definitely huge parts in Durant and Mitchell's national championship last year. There you go. They switch, and they're still going after Mitchell. They're finding him in the backcourt whenever they can right now. That's the early decision, the early play. Just wide.
Deuce.
I think he got a little afraid of Durant's presence there at the net, pulled it a little wider. Oh, just a great blitz. I mean,
Add
huge
out.
forehand.
But again, it's that Johan Durant just gets on top of the returner serve, and he's just hitting it straight down.
Just received a text from some folks in there that are saying that some of this fast play is actually based on some what they think are conditions out there, just either the sun or other things that are out there. That play might be intentional. This quick play.
Well, that's not, you can see them
Deuce.
squinting. I mean, you can see the shadows
Second
on the
deuce,
court.
that's-
You know what? And the receiver, that's what they're just discussing. The receiver side chooses who the server is going to serve to.
Oh!
Oh,
He just went for a big winner, but if you
Game,
could hit
Durant,
it that
Mitchell.
hard, Jerry, you
Games
got to go
are
right at the guy's body.
3
Do
games
not
all.
try to go through.
Love 15.
good pressure by Arias. He coming in, putting pressure on Durant, having the volley up. It's just a mental
15
error
all.
there.
Yep.
Trying to set up their play, looking to get Araya on the left-hand side because he's got that spin overhead, that combination overhead.
35.
It's right on the net, like you said, with his two-handed backhand volley.
Yeah, so far the play's
45.
fast, and I wouldn't even say it's methodical. It's hit and blitz, attacking. You can clearly see the overhead strategy is to find Mitchell and Durant in the backcourt, but the play is fast. They're not worrying about giving
Yeah.
people a look, or they're not trying to keep it away from, say, an
Game,
offensive
Durant,
opportunity. It's quick. I don't know if this style benefits one team or
sorry.
another, Jerry. I was going to ask you what you thought about that.
Well, in the Boston Broderick match, I don't think they could count on one hand how many errors they made.
Yeah.
I mean, they were just solid as a rock. It was
334.
the pace of play was not this fast. And also when I, watched over on the other stream court when I was watching Durant's match against Lepover and Prosesko, it was very methodical, businesslike, placing the ball straight. There wasn't this much speed.
Oh, just a
Up
huge
15.
return.
Yeah, you know what? I want to get the guys to grab a replay of Durant's returner serve.
Yeah, it's a textbook thing of what you want to try and do in a return. He's got little to no backswing. He takes the ball early in the bounce, front of the baseline, high in the bounce, and hits it downward. And there's such a quick acceleration. It's out. Nope, played. Oh, I think that's a sun miss there, Jerry. He just
15 all.
couldn't
Yeah.
see it in the corner. He was easily there.
All right, let's check. I want to get Durant's return if we can.
Ooh.
Oh.
He apologizes to
30-15.
Parsons. Ball goes up high and around his face, but I think Parsons is happy to have the point.
Not where he was aiming at, because he's
Not
got
at
the
all.
target, right? He's got Parsons coming into net.
Now,
So he's got the target
30
in
all.
front of him.
that roller from Durant was exceptional. He took his racket, cocked it up, and rolled it quickly to the outside of the ball. Wow, heavy, fast, transitional action. Balls are playing hard into the screen. Oh, Rai doesn't get there.
30-40.
And the ball, you know, it's cold, Brad, the conditions. I mean, it's a true January winter's day in Massachusetts. The condition, the ball is heavier.
Oh, he missed that one. He had the cut kill.
Deuce.
It's a good ball to go for. Just didn't execute.
All right, let's watch this return to serve again.
I think you
Add
jinxed
in.
him,
I
Jerry.
might be jinxing. I'm sorry.
I think you did it. You owe him a letter of apology.
I was so in awe of the returns before. And I don't want a replay of that one.
Game.
See, that's too
Mariah
quick.
Parsons.
I mean,
Games
Mitchell
are
was
4-all.
he was in the right position. He slid over, but when your opponent counters with an overhead that's deep, you want to just let it go through. Don't change your rhythm off the deck if you don't get the short ball
Love
that you were
15.
setting up for.
At that point there, from the serve, the return of serve, you saw Mark Parsons go right at Johan Durant. You're going to see a bit more of that. You know, many of the top players believe that one of the ways you have to deal with Durant at the net is to hit it at him a bunch of times to make him feel
15
like
all.
he can't just roam around the net.
Good hand, and you can see,
15-30.
you can feel, and you can hear how engaged Juan Araya is. He is mentally dialed in this match.
And this is a great
15,
tempo
40.
for him too, meaning he loves the fast-paced stuff. You know, not that Durant and Mitchell don't, but it really works well for him.
You know, we always say about
30,
Araya,
40.
he's so talented, but sometimes mentally he can leave the court, but he's very engaged. You can
Yep.
see, and he's engaged with Parsons. They're playing as a team.
Right. And as you said before, they barely missed a ball in that last
Game.
match
Mariah Parsons.
against Broderick and Bosterman. Broderick's been tough for Araya because Broderick plays that mental game, makes you hit one more ball all the time. So it's great to see him. You know he's dialed in when he takes them out 1-1.
But you know what? I wonder with this scoring format, it doesn't give Broderick the opportunity to grind away at all those deuce points that mentally he can wear you down. Whereas that match, you know, going into that
5-4.
part of the game when it's just no ad, takes that element out. And I wonder if that hurts Broderick more than the other players.
You know, that's an interesting thought, Jerry. I'll talk about it a little bit more. So Araya here serving for the set. Got up early, and they lost 3 games in a row, and now right at the ship, serving for the first set. Oh, great drop shot there. He just
15
deadens
love.
his hands, reads the drive, and he catches a little break on the top of the net there, but wonderful.
$30 love.
Ooh.
40 love.
All right, so 3 quick set points here for Orion Parsons. Oh, great flick, but he's going cut winner, and great dig there from Mitchell.
I think it touched Araya
40,
there.
15.
All right, saved one. Oh, and there it is. Game in first set.
I mean,
Araya Parsons.
It's that
6-4.
Look at that connection. Look at that energy from Araya Parsons. And more coming from Araya. I mean, he, like I said before, he is so engaged in this match. Body, mind, spirit. And a good first set there, 6-4. I just want to see if we got that replay. I think they grabbed the cutter that Araya just hit. Yep.
Yeah, it's a great dig.
You see that break?
And the ball comes off his paddle and breaks sharply to the left. You watch the way the paddle goes around and under the ball. Causes that spin to happen.
And so are you surprised by how fast all 4 of them are playing?
I am a little surprised, and it's great to see Araya's energy, but it's very fast, and I don't see the same kind of urgency yet out of Durant and Mitchell. You know, as reigning national champions, they know they can turn it around, I guess, at any time. But it's very quick on all ends. You know, the only strategy thing that I've seen that, you know, is they're definitely looking for Mitchell with the overheads, you know, when they switch in the backcourt.
Yeah. I just want to take a second to thank one of our national sponsors, Brad. Upswing Health is a digital sports medicine company that puts an orthopedic specialist at your fingertips. Upswing Health has a free AI-powered diagnostic tool designed by orthopedic surgeons that you can use to identify your injury. You can then learn how to treat your injury or even prevent another one with their free therapy programs, or even speak with a medical professional. All free as a member of the APTA. So if you've just got some soreness after playing or a more serious injury, go to Upswing first. upswinghealth.com/APTA. So yeah, I mean, they're into the second set quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a 6-4 set, and oftentimes the 6-4 set, Jerry, can take an hour, right? Depending on the pace of play. I would say that was got to be 20, 25 minutes maybe, if we have a time clock on it. You take the warm-up out of it, I wouldn't think it was more than 25 minutes. Condition-wise, also, Jerry, it's very windy out there.
Yeah.
I don't think it caused that miss, but a lot of breeze up there.
Yeah, they're playing with all the elements, right? Which is why we love this game.
Love
you have
30.
to deal with winter conditions, the sun. It's who adjusts. Oh, what a volley.
15-30.
Yep.
All.
Beautiful footwork there from Araya, getting out of the way of the hard overhead. Love to see Durant get a little more engaged too, with some movement in the backcourt. The things, but it's almost like the points are going so fast. There's not a lot of time for it, Jerry. Good, solid, measured point here from Araya Parsons, picking away from the backcourt. Using controlled drives, keeping him off the net.
So this is more of the pace that we saw in the semifinals. Durant Mitchell.
Oh, so smart.
Oh, touch volley.
Deuce.
As he's coming at him, that is hard to do because he's got to turn his shoulders to get it away from Araya, yet he doesn't have very much court to work with.
And the biggest thing is just the presence, the awareness of the player, right? He knows he's coming in. Most guys would try to speed things up there.
Oh.
It's a great shot, but a cutoff volley, if you don't volley it behind the opponent and you poach like that, it opens up the court for the Araya drive there, Jerry.
Game, Araya Parsons. They leave 1 game to love.
Just too many errors right now out of Durant and Mitchell.
Just getting an update in the other semifinal, Brad. Court and Grangero are up 2-1 in the first set.
Yeah, I expect that to be a grind. You know, like real tough play. You got a huge weapon, one of the best forehands of the game in Mikor Doya. Jeremy Court, it's great to see him out there. He's a name a lot of guys know, but he's never been on the live stream before. I think this is his first semifinal as well, so kudos to him.
Where does he play out of?
He's out of Westchester in New York, Westchester County, which is down outside of New York City, and very talented player. I think he's out of Larchmont area.
That's a great angle to watch Araya's preparation on his overhead. Again, like sets his paddle early.
Ooh.
And he can cut it. He's got different looks. That one, he was a little too far back in the service box and just missed it long. But his preparation for his overheads is just textbook.
Yeah, a lot of the great overhead guys who own the finishing shots, they set their racket up early, they cock the wrist up, and then they hold it in that position. From that spot there, they can hit a number of 6 or 7 different shots, including the cutters.
And a good thing to note too is that where their elbow is, it's not up by their ear.
30-15.
It's not above their shoulder. And at the further back they get in the court, that in fact the lower they let that ball come, so they're dropping their elbow down. That gives them that lower point of contact.
Whew.
30-all.
Mitchell delivering the heat right at Araya. Both these teams are excellent in transition, meaning when that ball goes through, they can drive the ball off the back screen, drive it through again, and come right in.
Oh. So athletic. Look, I mean, again, look
40,
at the
30.
animation. Look at the focus and passion that Araya and Parsons are playing with together. It's great to see.
He is pumped up. And that's what I mean by the great in transition, too. Most people would never think the other guy is going to stand in and volley that ball, Jerry. He's just going to go back. But Araya makes a move as soon as they're ready to hit it. Now it's a risk-reward type of thing, but
Yeah.
you know, he's very brazen with a lot of these types of shots, and he gets more of them than 90% of his, or probably more than like 98% of his
Deuce.
opponents.
Brad, in the semi-final, speaking of that brazenness, Broderick had an overhead from the service line, and Araya closed the net and volleyed it right back.
For a winner, no doubt.
we were in shock that he just closed the net on it. So they've got Durant on the right. And I think Mitchell take these overheads now on the left.
Here comes the switch.
Oh, there's the switch.
But we haven't seen Durant try to deal with cutting overheads yet. He's really just been pushing the ball back. You know, there hasn't been, there again, that's just great stuff.
Oh!
Raya missed that one, but
Add out.
comes in on a ball you wouldn't expect. And his hands are tremendous. Ooh. Oh, and they had Durant doing the
Game,
exact
Durant,
same
Mitchell,
thing
game
that
for
Araya
1-all.
does. Moving right in, just
It's like a
incredible.
sneak attack, right?
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
good.
expected, like you said, and then
Love
when they're
15.
getting in there, they're just rifling that body straight at the player, which is the right shot.
Yeah.
Love 30.
And the funny thing is, it is kind of expected with these players. The problem is they do it so quickly that there's really very little time to react. And if you can't hit the ball down at your opponent, sometimes the best play is actually to take all the pace off it and see if you can drop it at their feet. But it's happening in such a way where it's just not easy to do.
$540. Love 40, sorry.
So it was long.
Yeah.
I think it's 30-40, I think.
There it is again, taking a ball from under the net, just sticking it.
$30-40.
Brad, talk about that overhead that Durant just hit. It's like a sidearm roller, and it just drops at the back screen.
This is exactly what it was, Jerry. He hits the ball on the outside of the ball, coming up into the left with the racket and accelerating that way. So it imparts a spin that when it hits the screen, it's going to jump to the left, right to the side wire. And when it got there, it just died. So it's a great play because it forces your opponent to get out of the way, then it jumps quickly away from him. You know, so it was a terrific ball.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't make that first step quickly in the right direction, you're not going to catch up to it at all.
And he did it perfectly too, in the sense that he, you know, put the spin on it in a way where it wasn't coming off that side wire much at all. And that's actually part of understanding the shot, is understanding what your spin is going to do when it hits the wires. You can hit around the ball to the outside or to the inside. That's a great shot, top of the net, right into Mitchell's body.
Parsons is just waiting. He got Araya the shot to attack, and as soon as he saw it landing, he was into net, putting pressure. It's that roller that you talk about from Mark Parsons. He just lines up that deuce court nick. Keeping Durant honest in the corner there. You could see him starting to sneak to the middle as they were playing more balls to Mitchell.
Oh.
Game Araya Parsons.
So they're playing more of the balls to Mitchell, and you can see Araya, the longer the point goes, Durant, the longer the point goes on, he's moving more and more to the middle. In that previous rally, Araya saw it and just volleyed back into the corner of Durant, just keeping him honest.
Yeah, and part of the problem with that too is a little bit is Mitchell's not sure when he's coming, and Mitchell's hitting a screen drive there. He doesn't know that Durant is that close, and then they're getting the opportunity to cut it off. They're going to have to get a little more in sync back there.
All right, this is Juan Araya serving.
Left 15.
Shadow's getting longer, sun getting lower. It's not sure exactly when sunset is, but it probably, I guess, another half hour, probably. I would say in another 20 minutes, that court's going to be mostly all in the shadows.
Look at that wide stance of Parsons again at net.
15-30.
He's very stable when that first return to serve that comes straight at him.
30 all.
Just a great transition shot from Araya. Just amazing.
Combination. Let's
No.
grab that for
30.
the highlight reel. Just
For
a
sure
great
that's a
combination
replay.
of shots.
Deuce.
I mean, he was right there in perfect position, and he missed it, and that was the guttural frustration shout.
But again, I mean, this is a semi-final, and you feel like you're watching the finals of the Nationals, and it just to see how engaged they are and how much they care.
And I think this match is important to Araya Parsons for sure.
Yeah, you can see.
Oh.
Nice move by Durant.
Deuce. Second deuce.
Yeah, he plugged him good. I mean, you know, he had a great first volley, and Araya hit a great volley back. Just that thing moved back and forth in literally, I would say, an eighth of a second. Oh, he finally missed
Nice.
hit a volley
Game, Durant
there.
Mitchell, new balls.
That was great play. Went to hang tough there from Durant Mitchell. A couple of huge drives.
See if we can show that replay before the game starts, because they're changing balls.
Boom, boom, bam.
Oh!
You know, the slow motion, it's great to see it like that, but it almost takes away from the justice of how fast and hard that really was.
Yeah, but we still both grimaced.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, the sound it made when it hit Parsons' body was terrific. It was a good thud. Now you see Durant cheating a little, because the go-to spot ultimately is going to be the Mitchell backhand. You know, Mitchell's forehand, very, very good. He can one-time even some good screen shots, even some good spin shots. Oh, beautifully done from
15.
Araya.
I get one more.
So another replay to see if we can see that Araya cutter there. Brent Mitchell, a little flummoxed by it. Should have been Mitchell's to play.
Oh,
Weren't sure how it was going to move.
that's a perfect roller by
15
Mitchell.
all.
again, like it's hitting the side screen and then it's dropping on the back screen.
That's just
15-30.
phenomenal volleying. Phenomenal.
That's what we've seen pretty much all day from the play of Araya.
Now, it's still anybody's match at this point, but if you're Durant Mitchell, do you want to throw in some different service strategies, like a poach, tell them where to serve, throw a different look in there every now and then?
Yeah, you just got to, you know, get them second guessing a little bit. Change the look of the court, change the speed, change the spin.
Oh.
540.
It's a good ball for the cut drop.
Just look how much of the court. Araya plays the deuce side like a lot of players play the ad side. He's really covering a lot more court in the back court.
30-40.
Constantly prowling. You'll see him stand on the center hash mark, baiting the guy to go wide into his corner. And then when you go down the middle, he's got that sharp backhand every now and then.
Oh,
Game Araya
let's grab that
Parsons. They
as a
lead 3
replay
games
too.
to
I
2.
mean, he's just raising. He's just going in. His paddle is set in front of him in a backhand volley, and he's just charging and lining up that ball. But then he's got the hands. He can change the direction on the ball. It's not just... Yeah, let's show that replay if we've got it. I would love to see that.
Here it is, just so quick
Yeah.
he's in.
Yeah.
And Durant and Mitchell are going to have to deal with that. I mean, because at this point, he's doing it, you know, without any thoughts whatsoever. He's just coming
And let's
forward.
just give credit to where it's starting from, and that's from Parsons' return. He is making that play happen because he can get the ball down at the server's feet.
Yeah, there's no question that the style of play that Araya needs and
15
wants,
love.
he needs a player who can drive the ball from the backcourt down consistently. And he'll have always great success with that type of player.
Yes, he wouldn't, Araya would not be as successful if Parsons' return was higher. But the fact that he's getting his opponents to volley up.
But what makes Araya so special about this in particular is he actually can do it on an average ball too. You know, a ball that's even low, slightly lower than that, he'll still attack the other player's body and make the volley a much higher percentage than the average player. See, I think
30
Durant
love.
and Mitchell are going to have somebody right on top of the net to stop this. Any volley that's even like 3 feet off the net, Jerry, is, you know, spot where Araya can make his move.
40
Boy, this
love.
is going fast, Brad.
Just sharp. They're playing sharp.
$40-15.
They're just sharp. Playing great.
Game Parson Araya. They lead 4 games to 2.
An update on the other men's semifinal match. Boris Adora are up 4-3 in the first set against Court and Granjiro.
Now take a tale of two matches there, Jerry. We got this one at 6-4, 4-2, right? And that one at 4-3 in the first, and they're starting relatively the same time. That just gives you a clear indication of the pace of play.
The speed of play, for sure.
And the style. It's just
Love 30.
I would say that
So,
any time, Jerry, that they volley the ball from 3 or 4 feet off the net, they're maybe winning 25% of the points.
yeah.
They
Wait till you see that shot before, but Mitchell just trying to volley away from Parsons as he was coming in, and there's just so much pressure on that volley to try to change directions.
.530.
One-time forehand there. Terrific timing from Stephen Mitchell. Now, theoretically, Jerry, you know, one of the big purposes of the underhand serve is to make it harder for the opponent's team to blitz, right? Because you can't hit the ball as down. I think their serves are hanging up a little bit today. They're definitely getting looks right and left.
You take it.
Because under normal circumstances, Jerry, Durant and Mitchell are one of the top teams at taking the net and holding the net for more time in a match. In this match, it's a definite, huge advantage. Parsons and Araya.
Oh. Nice.
Oh.
30 all.
A few misses from Araya. Great lob, here he comes. And
Yep.
Mitchell's got to call that out. I got to hear his voice on the live stream saying, you know, blitz coming. It's almost impossible shot.
30,
He's
40.
just rushing it.
Yep.
Rushing that. They're just pressuring. I mean, Ryan Parsons, I mean, sometimes you get a hot hand through a part of the match, but these guys are just relentless.
Deuce.
And again, I just love the passion that they're showing. I mean, he's missed a half volley tough shot and is yelling out, "Come on!" with it throwing his hands up in the air. I mean,
Ooh.
they're just so engaged.
Advantage, Mitchell.
It's great to see. He was going right at his body on that one. Good job from Mitchell getting out of the way. And a
They're
little
like
sharper.
freight trains.
These lobs are beautiful from Rice. He holds it and he goes, now he's going to that corner there. He missed it wide, but that's a
Game
purposeful
Durant,
shot from
Mitchell.
Araya.
That was
Parsons
a
leads
very
4
good
games
hold
to
for
3.
Mitchell down love 30.
Yep.
Big difference, as you know, between 5-2 and 4-3. That was a very good hold.
And what Mitchell and Durant, you know, it doesn't seem like, at least we haven't seen it here yet, Jerry, that they have any thoughts of changing their strategy. They're just trying to ride this out, it seems like. You know, let's hope Araya misses a couple of balls. Let's hope Parsons flies a couple of returns. Let's say, you know, let's hope we get a let court here. And, you know, it's possible because Araya, actually, I would say the key point in that game, I think it might have been even at love 30, is Araya missed a kind of mid-court, little low backhand. He tried to hit a fiery shot and he netted it, you know, and that's a crucial ball there. If he misses 1 or 2, it could be then 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, right?
And then he
love.
could get a little stroppy. He has been known to get a little stroppy.
Sure.
And the head shakes and the shoulders go down and, you know, then you feel like you've got a chance, but showing no signs of that today. Just loving the battle.
Just awesome by Mitchell. He totally froze Araya there. Araya thought he was driving it down the middle.
15 all.
Inside out. Here we go.
15-30.
A little bit of a window here, Brad.
Yep. Surprised not to see Durant attack there, though, with the forehand.
He went for the sneaky flick.
Great shot. Araya
15-40.
playing a lot of net, and this is what they're hoping for. Got him on a forehand volley. They got to take advantage right here.
Mitchell getting a couple of good looks on some shorter balls on his forehand side.
See,
Yeah.
Araya just
30-40.
reading that way before Durant's even hitting it. So great drop shot from Araya, great read. Great challenging serve from Araya at a big moment.
There's a lot of grunting going on here, Brad.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't felt the need to grunt here from my basement watching this match, but out there it's a little different.
Yeah. That's a very good lob. Getting Parsons to go. Because you can just see Araya is just hanging on the net.
Oh, that's great overhead. He's sharp. He got him to go wide with it.
The forehand.
Terrific.
Game, Durant, Mitchell. Games are 4 all.
That's an example where they changed the play. They hit the ball faster than they could shift and get position, because Parsons likes to, you know, get his stance and get set when there's a drive coming, and he got caught moving to his left, having to hit a forehand volley.
That was a great break there from Durant Mitchell. Like you said, Jerry, there's a little window here. You can see it's just like the smallest little bit of crack.
15 love.
And there's another one. It's like a little error. One creeps in here, one creeps in there. And this is how
Borish
matches.
Adora just got the first set 6-3, Brad.
Nicely done. They were down 3-2, took 4 in a row, so good job by them. Araya's great setup, and he missed it wide. That's a great
50
setup from Araya. Lobbing cross court, moving to the center hash mark to set up his forehand. Love the fact that Araya and Parsons are keeping them off the net, and there's just some
30-15.
good fortune there for Stephen Mitchell. It's a terrific shot from Parsons. Little breaks here and there.
Oh, what a return of serve.
We've seen so many though, Jerry. It's a pleasure to watch.
And like you said, off of a low ball, you know, off of these underarm serves.
Yeah, I think they're hanging up, actually, to be honest. I mean, these are definitely, I haven't seen Durant Mitchell get knocked off the net this many times in a match in a while. That's a great lob.
So what would he have to do to make that serve stay lower? Oh, off the snowboard.
30 all.
You know, it's hard. I mean, I'm not really exactly sure at this point.
Let's have a look. Actually, it's a good shot.
It was, and there's an out serve.
30-40.
Okay.
All right, break point here. And possibly Parsons serving for the match. And he
Oh,
is.
Mitchell.
Game,
Yeah,
Araya
Mitchell
Parsons.
read it, cut it off, but just missed the volley in the net. And again, the pressure of Araya just knowing that he can go straight in behind that returner serve.
Yeah, and Mitchell was exactly where he was supposed to be, right on top of the net. I also think Parsons, just his return is so precise. It's so close to the net. You actually get the pressure, this kind of thing in the back. It might hit the top of the net, you know, and you just can't be quite on top of it. I mean, he was right there.
5-4.
And he's so accurate with it, right? Because he's picking the spots and knowing that Araya is moving in, so part of the court is closed off. He can't hit him, but he's so accurate with it. All right, so Parsons is serving for the match.
Oh, another tremendous volley from her. Oh, what a lob.
Love 15.
Stuck, terrific ball. If you're going that far back, sometimes better to let it drop, but he was fully committed. Oh, that's trouble, but he's got it. Oh!
Love 30.
Opportunity here for Durant Mitchell. It's the same play. We're seeing this same play over and over now from both ends of the court. Serve, return a serve with a blitz. Who can get out of the way? Who can run it down? Calibrate the volley when you're coming in on the blitz so that they can't get it off the screen.
No, we've seen it all match, Jerry.
This might be your lesson plan for the week, Brad.
Well, transitional paddle is the toughest stuff, you know, and how to shut down a blitz. Oftentimes a strategy used from players, you know, just the old traditional old school strategy is you play I formation or Australian, you serve the ball way up the tee, and that takes away as much of an angle for the returner. They can't run in right behind. They have to move it to their left and then get started. I haven't seen it used once today. Oh, stuck it. That's going out.
That's
too
wide.
ambitious
30,
with that
40.
lob. Can't waste any of these big points right now. Yeah, Parsons puts up a bad lob.
Durant Mitchell. Games are tied at 5-all.
And it's a perfect time for the hard overhead as the retreating Araya. Just hits him with it, and it's a great shot.
Love 15.
Another awesome return and blitz.
Right. Do you think Mitchell would be better off going back at Araya rather than trying to change the direction of that volley, or is he just happy that he's got his paddle on it?
I think it's just so much pressure that he's not able to process. I think the problem I see with a lot of this stuff is, as I was saying, if you could serve the ball up the tee, it would help you deflate the blitz a little bit. You know, they're just serving everything right into the Araya forehand. Now, the idea behind the underhand serve is it stays low enough, but clearly not the case today. They're just teeing off. There's just some great precision out here, too. There's a great move from...
Oh! What a volley!
From Durant.
15-30.
I've seen him going up the wire. 15-30 here.
all.
And there's
40,
the
30.
first missed return. We've seen it a little while.
To the sound of those drives.
So good. Araya's quickness. And
Game
there we
for
have it,
Mitchell.
Durant
They lead 6 games to
and
5.
Mitchell with their first lead in any set, Jerry. It's gotta feel good. They've weathered as much storm as they can, and see what they can do here. They've broken the last couple of times. They've had Parsons and Araya have served.
And you see Araya has left the court. He's taking a little stroll down there. He's done such a good job of staying mentally engaged during this whole match. And now he is going to serve to force it to a tiebreak.
Sorry.
See, what we've seen too, Jerry, some of the time.
Oh,
is,
new ball.
Oh, new ball time. Is that,
All right. He was just about to serve.
Right. Araya is a tremendous front runner. When things are going good, he's, all downstream, just killing it. The interesting thing is, can he keep this energy up if they lose this set? Will he keep it, or will the things start to bother him,
Energy and the positivity.
Correct.
That's what I'm looking at. He doesn't disguise it well. you definitely know how Juan Araya is feeling. He's a very emotional man, and you can see the head shake, the shoulders go down. But like I said, I've been really impressed with how he has stayed composed, focused, energized throughout this whole match. And I think, if Mark Parsons noticed a little bit of a head shake or anything, he should get over there and just get in his eyesight and say, "Come on, let's go."
And by saying he doesn't disguise it well, what you really mean is he doesn't disguise it at all, Jerry. He wears it out. He wears it out there. No, it's not. It's just him. It's not a good or bad. It just is.
No.
He's a force. Oh, that's a big ball and a great move.
Oh, look at the hands.
That positioning from Parsons outside the alley there.
Love 15.
Good
With
first
his paddle
point.
up, centered in the backhand position, so he can absorb the pace and direct the ball.
Oh! He had it.
15 all.
Well, the great thing that Mitchell did is he ran early. And I think Orion knew that. He was choosing the wrong shot as he was doing it. He tried to make it extra good. And didn't convert. Oh.
30-15.
Costly error and a great transition.
It's really, they just need to be balanced right before they take these shots. The transition is so quick.
And there's Parsons. You don't see it as much. He's pretty good in the exchange as well. Stood right up there.
I think he's, I think he's great and in a pot because look where his feet are. When he anticipates that ball's coming as a drive, he sets himself low. Like you said, he's a tall guy.
Yeah, and he just gets right down there. Keeps his paddle in front of him like a shield and walks him back. And one of the things that makes all these volleyers so great is they just know where to put their paddle to, Jerry.
Game,
where the
Araya,
likely response
Parsons.
is.
Games are 6 all. Second set tiebreak.
Here
All right,
we go.
no stroppy play there, Brad. We're back into a tiebreak.
not down. That's a great serve. That one looked a little lower.
1-love.
Parsons can't convert. It's one of the few missed returns we've seen from Parsons.
So they're playing tiebreak, 1st to 7. Win by 2.
2-love.
And again, it's quick points.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm never going to fault Durant for taking a forehand return. You know, they're just going to have to execute a little better. I mean, that's 3 missed returns in a row.
1-2.
There's just no room right now for Mitchell and Durant. Got to execute here.
Oh, see that ball bites.
Yep. He's going
Just
from left to
stopping.
right.
Oh!
Great
Oh,
dig.
a
from
flick of the
Durant.
wrist by Durant.
That one's tough. Nice job by Mitchell.
But that's the combination of shots and the combination of where he's placing the ball.
Araya's attacking that side screen of Durant perfectly.
Oh!
Just missed it. He tried for the
2-all.
quick flick. Two-all. Oh! The stretch
Grab
out
by Durant.
arm from Durant, the extendo arm, as we say.
The go-go gadget. He's everywhere. What a match,
2-3.
Brad. I said at the beginning, it felt to me like the Nationals. You know, like we're in the final of the Nationals, and just the intensity that we've watched throughout this whole time.
Now, I don't know if we have a score on the other court, but I don't see any action over there, so I'm wondering if Berchadoya were able to clean that out. Take that one home and work their way to the final, getting a nice rest watching a little the end of this match.
It's 4-1 in the second to Boris Shadora.
Oh, great dig from Mitchell. These guys are fighting for this point. I love it. Oh my goodness, he lays out. We have to see that one again on the replay.
Yep.
I mean,
Grab that
Parsons had the first volley. He was right there. And, you know, just drops right in front of him. He's stunned for a second.
Now, you would have thought that Araya would go over and help him. No, just kidding.
Help him up. Step on him while he's down. That was just an amazing shot. Bad luck. Wasn't. Unfortunate for Durant Mitchell. You know, it's always funny how a little ball like that makes all the difference in the world. One let court here, one let court there.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, Jerry, in one of your national championships, one of your 45 national championship wins, the first time they instituted the let cord rule on the serve, you guys hit an ace off a let cord, right?
That was match point, yes.
Yeah, on match
Long
point,
Island.
right. Yeah.
Match point. We won on the first ever let cord serve. It was very hard to celebrate, I must say.
That's interesting. Did you apologize and offer to play a let?
Oh, no.
Okay, all right.
we rolled our eyes, but
Wow. Oh
this.
my
Oh,
God! What a
God, we gotta
shot from
grab that.
Mariah.
I slash backhand
473.
into the singles line backside screen. We're gonna hold that for the end of this tiebreak.
4-3 Durant Mitchell. But just the stuff that's going on here is incredible. That ball's lower than the net.
573.
His confidence is so high that the window to make that shot in, though, Jerry, almost minuscule. That's just so good.
Oh,
They're not
there's
even going
the
to bother
play
tracking
again.
that down.
4-5.
We should have had a stat on that, Brad. That play.
Oh, how many blitz and finishes?
Yeah. Blitz first volley, end of point. Serve, returner serve, blitz, end.
Right. It's been many. As many as I've seen in a match in years, actually. The amount of blitzing here.
So,
and the funny thing is,
just
neither
having
team, though, they're both just playing it straight up. This is straight up. Serve, come in. Nobody in Australia, no eye, no poach, no nothing.
Right, not making the adjustment.
Oh, he caught him off the hip. Araya was 1 inch from the net. It's just a perfectly placed ball. This is set point here for Durant Mitchell. And out called.
Durant Mitchell sets her tied at 1.
You know, I'm clapping here. That was
Wow.
exciting stuff there, Jerry.
And this match deserves to go to 3 sets. I mean, the level of play. We're going to take a look at that replay. I think. Oh, the backhand one. Watch this.
Just down and low and in and just
can we
incredible.
Can we see that again?
Yeah, Durant has to think he's going to hit the cutter drop short. And he's holding him there. And then just as it gets hit, here comes the get here from Mitchell.
Yeah.
Durant will step
watch where
forward.
it lands. And it's a snowboard. I mean, Durant had no play on it because it was a snowboard. Wow, that is high caliber paddle.
And again, Jerry, I think we talked about this. You know, Durant Mitchell sort of weathered. There were just like, you can't say it was like a bad level drop or anything, but there were just a couple of moments, little micro moments, where there was a missed ball here or there from Mariah Parsons. And, you know, you can even look back at that let cord that, you know, Parsons couldn't get when he might have made the other volley. Just these little micro moments. You know, I can't say any of the level really dropped. If anything, I think the first set was, there were many more loose points in the first set. Here was just spectacular shot making all the time. Now as we discussed, there weren't any adjustments, but it was just incredible stuff.
No, I agree. I mean, there's nothing in it, but interesting. You know, we keep saying about this serve return, blitz, boom, 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 and that neither team has really made the adjustment, like you said, and tried different formations. It's like they're just staying with that plan. And I think getting an update. Yes, the other semifinal is 6-1. So Borish Adora are through to the finals.
Yeah, that's a good result for them. They're such a tough team. You got the Erdoya forehand, just one of the massive weapons in the game. Burst serve, very hard, probably the most difficult. So, see, it would be almost impossible, as great, I think, in the ad court to do this blitz and attack on the burst serve. It's just too difficult to do it on. So, you know, it's just a tough team. It's going to be a great final as well.
Well, we've been watching this team. I mean, you called that match at the Nationals with them, and we've kind of been keeping our eye on them since then. They're really just knocking at the door to break into this higher level. So, good, congratulations to them. And here we go with the third set. Mark Parsons serving.
Let's see if Araya can keep that same incredible energy level that he had in the first 2 sets.
Oh, sneaky little push by Durant.
Thinking blitz. That's right at the crease. Beautifully played from Mitchell. Just perfect. And people don't realize that's a partnership deal. At this high level, you got to get those nicks, the creases.
Love 15.
Yeah, you've got to be constant. And in order to this level of transition, I mean, you just have to know where your partner's going. You have to be ready to cover every part of the court. Every shot has to be drilled, and you just can't have a weakness. You can't, oh, I don't play the side back screen or on the other side. These guys have got all the shots and also an understanding of where to put those shots.
Oh, just a great move. We haven't seen him
30.
do that much. Parsons hits what he thinks is a safe overhead going into the Durant backhand, but it bounces high and Durant just sticks it low. Parsons
And
not
it was
ready.
short.
Yep,
yeah,
very.
It was Durant read it. It was short. Durant read it, and he was off the net. So a perfect opportunity to spike that ball down.
I think in the Parsons' mind, though, he had like a good look at it. That's
15,
you got that
30.
one on the wrong end of the stick that time for Mitchell on the blitz play. Great play from Mariah. Well, see, here we see the frustration. He's been winning a lot of those points, but I don't know what Araya could be upset about there.
Well, he's saying how many times. So is he saying how many times he missed it, or does he want Parsons to lob the ball?
Game Durant Mitchell.
If I had to guess, he's upset that he missed it. And my point is, I don't know how upset you could be about that play. It's almost, you know, even as good as he is, you know, you can't make that volley more than 70. You can't make it probably more than 50% of the time. You know, I mean, let's be honest about it. And that's the thing now. You see Durant closing in now, and you know the risk reward on this flips both ways. You know, on the blitz and return.
All right, Johan Durant serving.
Love 15.
Perfect return there from Araya. Ooh. Nice.
You see the steadying influence of Mark Parsons. Just calm, solid, right back to business. Again, you see Araya just on the net.
This is great stuff. Great stuff.
5:30.
Oh, we're starting to see a little negative energy creeping out of Araya here. And
30
the
off.
errors can come in batches. There's two. For a good love 30 start here. Let's see if you can right the ship with a good return. Oh, what a volley from Mitchell.
What a grab. I think that might have been a no-look volley.
I'm not sure it wasn't the edge of the paddle, actually. He hit it off the edge. I don't think that was an intentional spot from him.
Deuce.
Yeah, I think that's too good from Araya. Goes right at the body. Beautifully played. Oh, what a great lob.
Oh. He slides that into the deuce side.
Oh,
Very little court to work with.
great forehands from Mitchell there. Very compact backswing. Reads the position.
Oh!
Ooh.
Ryan Parsons not switching sides. I couldn't tell. Was that ball good?
It was called wide by Durant. So, but seemingly a little bit questioned by Araya, but with no umpire, that's, you know, calls stand.
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
It was off screen for us.
Add in.
But see, in this game right here, that's 4 errors from Araya. You know. Oh, that's great. Great shot. Oh!
Oh!
Deuce. Game, Durant, Mitchell. They lead 2 games to love.
All right, so it's just a little drop in the Araya level, a little drop in the positive energy, but he still seems like he's animated and going after it.
Mitchell is just quietly going about his game.
You know, he's done such an amazing job. We
15
watched his
love.
development over the years to the national champion he is now. He's got awesome forehand, great spot volley, and he's doing more today too. He's even throwing in the blitz, defending, reading the court so much better.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen with him is that he is seeing the court
15
better
all.
and knowing where to place the ball. They had a rough Long Island. You know, they didn't, the last Grand Prix event, he wasn't as sharp as we have seen him. So back to business now.
Durant and Mitchell have totally settled down from their first set where they, you know, just throwing some loose points. Play has been fast throughout, but they're cleaning up the errors a bit.
Oh.
Just
Yeah.
all over it. That one he wants back.
15.
He took an off-pace drive. Araya was right 1 inch from the net. Oh, that's a winner.
Oh, wow, what an
30
angle.
all.
I mean, it's actually almost, Araya's serve was almost so good it forced him into that shot. He made him catch it a little late. He just did a great job putting his racket on it. Oh, what a volley from low from Araya.
40-30.
Shot making is incredible, Jerry.
Oh, the athleticism. You know, it really has just come down to for me, the mental part of the game. Just being able to manage the moment and manage
Deuce.
yourself.
First deuce.
Because it's clearly a lot at stake. All 4 players. This means a lot.
Oh, but see, these are the errors we didn't see much of
Not out.
before, and these are the errors that obviously, Jerry, make a huge difference in any match. I mean, that's just a routine overhead. So tattoo that return. Oh, he went for the dink volley
Second
from
deuce.
low. Great soft volley from Parsons.
Durant receiving. Oh. Look at that little sneaky flick lob that Durant does.
All
The
right.
pressure again
Game,
of them
Grant
coming
Mitchell.
forward. So when you're off the
lead
net
three
and you
games
have to
to love.
volley up, just that added pressure of one of your opponents coming at you is enough to make you miss wide, as we've seen.
But but we've seen in this set here, I mean, that second set was just like one highlight reel after another. What we're seeing right now, Jerry, is just the cracks. I mean, of course, you're 100% right. That is due in large part to the pressure but we saw Ryan in the first set be closing in, taking that volley, going right back at him. Now they've just both missed 4 or 5, relative. That was not a routine ball, but relative to routine balls here. So Durant Mitchell just got to keep going and don't give it back to him. Keep playing that same good level that they brought it to.
15 love.
And you take it, and it takes an interesting turn. How many blitz and wins have we seen? We haven't seen one yet in this set from Orion Parsons. Whoa! That was great. Completely misplays
Behind
it.
the back. I'll just wait until it comes out in front of me. Oh, there it is.
Comes around the other side, and he just flicked it. Yep, beautifully done. But he set his paddle down, which allows him to do that. He knows about where it's going. Here it does it again, but these are great overheads from Mariah. These are all great overheads. They're just defended really well.
Well, they're great because of where he's placing them on the court, right? He's stopping them from being able to attack them. And then, I mean, look at that.
15
That
off.
just, can we grab that one? Because it's just that grabbing the side screen and then dropping on the back screen is just
15-30.
unbelievable how he hits that shot.
2 phenomenal points from Mariah. Great job. Oh.
30 all.
But he was making all those in the first set, right? And, I don't think it's a level drop. That shot just can only be made so many times, right? There's a percentage.
It's a bold play at the best of times.
30-40.
All right, but they got the break point here. They need this game. There's the Parsons going with the high lob. Oh.
First deuce.
Scorekeeper doing a great job calling out first deuce because we know at the second deuce we've only had. Have we had a single no-ad point? Yeah, we did. We had
I
one,
think,
right?
yeah, we have. Yeah,
One in
we
the
saw
first
it.
set.
Yep.
Reminder from our people tuning in
Add
at
out.
the second deuce. It is sudden death in the game, and the receiving team gets to choose who's receiving. All right, Mitchell with the missed
Game,
volley
Aurora
there.
Parsons. 1-3. Love 5. Love
I
30.
think that hit the seam, Jerry, and moved to the
Yep.
inside. So all those spots right in front of each post there, the seams where the wires are coiled up and put together, the ball can move a different way.
You see those little breaks that you were talking about, you know, with the let cord and then the seam, and they.
Yeah, but Durant and Mitchell also just raised their level completely. And I don't even think, you know, Araya and Parsons definitely didn't give them that second set. They just had a couple of little misses.
Oh.
Oh.
Up 40. Up 40.
So now they're just playing under the lights. The sun's completely down. It's dusk. It is the hardest time, Jerry, I think, to see the ball.
Yeah, that in-between light.
Raya just doing everything up there, taking high-risk balls. And Durant Mitchell just getting one more back. Oh, that's too many, one too many. You got to get a high lob up in that point and just try to get back to neutral. That was fun to watch.
Caught up in the moment, Brad. It's sometimes hard to do that, right?
Yeah, it was worth it. It was fun, right?
Yeah.
Great shot from Araya. Oh.
Game. Durant Mitchell. Games are 3-4-1.
4-1. See Araya now on the court. Just little drop. He's going to need a good run of shots here. Get himself back because he feeds off that stuff, Jerry. You know, he makes a couple of good shots. It feeds back into his energy level. You can almost see, do you see a perceptible difference in the energy coming out of Araya right now?
Oh, yes. We've been watching it. It was just, I mean, he's finding himself a little bit. You know, he can just regroup and just manage these moments.
Just out.
15 love.
Almost. And a great call from Durant there. Telling his partner to let it go, and there's definitely been a difference. You know, Parsons was just thumping the return with the Araya right behind it. He has missed a few. I think the serve is either staying low, they found a way to serve a little better, or it's just a fact that they're, you know, you can only play perfectly for so long, right? Playing these high risk, high reward shots.
Love.
Push volley long, pushed out at it. Oh.
You just see Durant just hitting those well-placed overheads. This not feeling the pressure to do any more. They're just playing smart paddle right now. Just put the ball in the court where they can't be attacked.
And I was just, yeah, I was kind of, as you were going into that, Jerry, I was about to say that that's the biggest difference from Durant about 4 or 5 years ago. He was trying to force the points. But since he's been starting to play with Mitchell, he is willing to, you know, play a paddle point, not just let his, you know, go for a crazy shot in a crazy situation. He's willing to let the other team try to beat him. And as a consequence, you know, he's always kind of been the best player in the country. I mean, you know, but he would go off and make errors for other people. But if he doesn't do that, then he is the best player in the country. You know, he's just so tough.
Great shot by Ryan. Yeah, I agree. And I also think he has refound the joy in working the point, in the strategy of it. Kind of had to go back to, you know, the beginning of building a point when he started playing with Mitchell and explaining and seeing it differently. And I thought, I think he's really kind of found the joy again in that. And he just kind of waits until he gets the right ball like that. I mean, just pushed
Game,
it deep in the
Durant
corner,
Mitchell. They lead 5 games
giving
to
them
1.
nothing to attack. And Mark Fisher was here, he'd be saying, Jerry, we should be talking about the water going down the drain.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is, and it's like the energy's left the building. I mean, you know, yes,
Yep.
that was a great shot by Durant, but you would not expect, you know, Mark Parsons to miss that, you know, and
Well,
now it's
15.
just, you know, sort of the airs are just bleeding, you know, and unless Durant and Mitchell go off the rails here, it's hard to see a comeback yet from Uriah Parsons, although anything is possible off the Uriah paddle, including
50-all.
massive comeback, another jolt of energy, 5-6 winners in a row.
15-30.
Oh, and there's the breaks going right back. The let cord for
15-40.
Durant. And it's double match point, Jerry. He's going to go for it. Oh, a cut overhead from Durant to the side. We don't see that often. And there it is.
Set and match to
Wow.
Durant Mitchell. 6-4, 6-1.
And a well-earned victory. They weathered the storm, Jerry. They came through and they upped their level from the first set to the second. And then it's like kind of like what we were saying, you know, what I wanted to see is if they do lose that second set, what's going to happen in the third? And we saw a complete drop in the energy level, as well as a maintaining or even bettering of the level from Durant and Mitchell. Solid play.
Right, right. I mean, I spent most of that, well, definitely all of the first 2 sets on the edge of my seat. I mean, I was literally hanging on every single exchange. It was just some of the best paddle I have seen. Dynamic shot making, and then you saw once that paddle left his hand, and then a couple of little breaks, and like you said, the let cord and the nick comes into hand. You just saw the energy go down. But congratulations to Durant and Mitchell. They'll be very pleased. I'm not sure what the turnaround time is going to be for the final. We'll as soon as we get word from that's Jackie Cameron right there giving us the thumbs up. So I think we're going to have an interview, Brad. I think we're going to get a chance to talk to these guys, which will be fun before the final.
And you see they're commiserating there with their countrymen, Genius Chikwueze and Admire Mashunga.
Yes, that's the Boston Brigade.
That is the Boston Brigade. But that's a great win for those guys. And, you know, just the fact that they had the confidence to just weather the storm. And what's great about it is they seemed nonplussed the whole match. They played not so good in the first set, and they were, you know, getting dominated, a few errors. Then they just kept going. They raised their level. They were fighting uphill. They got their first lead in the match. They were down 5-4, actually. He had Parsons serving for the match at 5-4. Saved that, came back, got their first lead to 6-5, got to a breaker, and then from that point on, no looking back. So tremendous stuff.
And that's a huge part of this high-level paddle, right, Brad? Is just hang around, right? If things aren't going your way, just hang around. Find a way to stay in the point until, you know, you can get your right shot. You can just get your opponents to dip a little bit, rather than, you know, my forehand's not going in. I'm not winning on my forehand, and that's it.
Right.
Just, you know, throw it all out. They just, you know, not that they, as you said, they weren't playing badly, but they just hung around enough and kept the pressure on. And then once they got comfortable, their confidence went up, the shot selection went up, and things started to roll that way. And just, you know, we always talk about the momentum in this game, but they manage themselves well. They manage themselves well, and they manage the moment well.
All right, I think the our winners, Stephen Mitchell and Johan Durant, are making their way into the interview room. So we'll get a chance to ask them about that tremendous highlight reel there that we saw for a few sets. Amazing stuff.
I know, we'll send that off. That Graham McNerney does the recap, of the tournaments for the APTA. So he's going to have a lot of good stuff to choose from this one. They'll just have to mic out. They'll have to mute us out, Brad, because we were pretty animated through some
The
of the
oohs and
play.
ahs. Ooh, oh no.
It's like, really? Have these guys seen paddle before?
That was exciting stuff, though. I mean, there's just the shot making, the return, first volley, and the volley exchanges were out of this world.
I have to ask him about those kamikaze moves, where they were just, constantly going in behind the returner serve and just brazen, paddle up, just full force going in behind those bullets.
Well, it's the confidence they have, in their hands and the ability to volley. And it's also the confidence they have in their returns, the ability to, they know they're going to get it down. And, they made, for the most part, there were a lot of successes. Of course, there's always going to be failures in a high risk, high reward environment like that when you're doing the blitz plays. But the hands from all the participants were incredible.
And also, the confidence in their partner's return, right? Like we had talked about, you can't be blitzing. You can't just be going in blitzing willy-nilly. You have to trust that your partner is getting that ball down at the server's feet, that you've got a ball that's being popped up to you.
Yeah, you're right, Jerry, because most of the returns, most of the blitzes were off their partner's returns.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched a match serve return end of point. All right, I think our winners are getting mic'd up, ready to go.
All right, just got the signal. They're ready to go, so let's hear from our winners.
Oh, congratulations, guys. What a match. Well done.
Thank you.
Certainly looked like it went to plan.
I wouldn't say so. In the end, yes.
No, tell us about the tactics of the match.
There was none.
Really?
We didn't talk. Nah, we would. I don't know if we played well. It was a fun match in some ways. We got a little ugly start. Especially I started very slow. He was actually playing. Steve was playing pretty good. I was a little bit slow footwork wise. I don't know, a little flat. But it's tough when you're behind to kind of get going. But no, we played well. We just same guys. They had big shots, so we got to keep the ball low and got to make them miss some volleys by sometimes blitzing or faking the blitz. Otherwise, it's too easy to make the volley.
I saw out there today in the beginning, yeah, you definitely started slow, looked a little flat to begin with. But was the serve sitting up a little bit? It seemed like you had more success later on in the match, stopping them from blitzing. Was it sitting up higher than normal? I mean, because it's a cold day out there. It was windy.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I was actually just putting it a little too short in the box. So they were kind of moving up quick, and then I tried to actually put it a little bit higher and deeper, so they had to wait a little bit so I could get in just a little bit closer. I thought that kind of helped.
I also think we
were commenting.
Jerry,
sorry, go ahead, Johan.
I also think we haven't played many matches, so it's hard to kind of, if the pace is fast, it's kind of hard to get used to it until you warm up a little bit. If you play more, you're more comfortable. So I felt in the beginning, for me anyway, I felt a little off, and it got better. Obviously, it's easy when you're ahead in the end, but then you get a little bit more life. But that was probably harder if you play a little bit more matches. It makes it a little easier for me.
We kept commenting about serve return and the blitzing, the amount of blitzing that you guys were doing right off of that returner serve. Is it something that you practice?
Yeah, I think we feel that's a pretty big strength in our game, that we have big returns and we try and put some pressure on behind it, and certain people we know like to stay in and try and make the volley, so we try and put a bit of pressure on behind the return. So there's definitely a quick point. If we can pick up a few quick ones like that, it helps us.
Now, on the flip side of that, there's defending the blitz. Was there ever a because they won quite a few points on their own, with blitzing as well. Was there ever a time where you were going to say, hey, let's try an I formation here, serve it up the tee, try to defend the blitz a little differently? Because you guys seemed throughout the match to just be sort of weathering the storm until you got like just this little foothold or micro imperceptible levels. Did you ever think about defending it differently?
We did I formation once or twice, and I don't know if I think it made it a little bit more uncomfortable in some ways. But again, we haven't played enough, I feel like. So I feel like Steve normally makes those volleys, I think, and he was just a little uncomfortable, the pace, and he was moving, and I was missing, I wasn't serving. I felt like I was going to miss a serve, So as soon as we get into it, it gets easier, and then the I formation stuff gets easier. But I think when we're behind, it's hard to start screwing around too much, and we lose more quick points, which is what we don't want to do.
Now,
All right, guys, well, go ahead,
Jerry,
Brad.
I was just going to ask lastly about the conditions. Were the conditions any factor out there at all? You had sun in from the angle. It was windy out there.
It wasn't too bad. Little sun from the one side, a little bit of wind, but wasn't too bad, and just kind of had to, make the adjustments. Wasn't too bad.
I think a couple of lobs will just float wide, when it's in the court, and I think also I missed in the beginning a lot of overheads, but again, it's not quite the wind's fault. It's a little bit the wind and movement, So I think and easy overheads, like just push overheads. So I think it had an effect, but I think it was more me than the conditions, if I can put it that way.
All right, well, guys, thanks for chatting. I know you want to get ready for the finals. Good luck. You're playing Borsch Adora. Have you played them recently?
October or something, right?
Yeah.
Darien.
Maybe Darien. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yep. All right. Well,
best
good
of
luck.
luck.
Get ready.
Thank
Take
you
a
very
break,
much.
and for everyone tuning in, as soon as we know what time the finals will be played, we'll post it up on the stream, and we'll be bringing you that match live tonight.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Johan, thanks, guys. Johan Durant, Stephen Mitchell through to the finals. Oh.
Yeah, Jerry, that was some great stuff. So it was interesting. It was a lot of what we talked about. They just sort of weathered the storm. They got to a slow start. They just weathered the storm. And when there was that slight little micro dip in the level from, Parsons and Araya, they were able to be there to capitalize. And then it just, from that moment forward, really, once they took that first lead, it just, it flipped right over. So
Yeah.
kudos.
All right. So I think we're going to run a couple of commercials. We will be back. Like I said, I just have to get the word from Jackie Cameron, who's our tour director, and I just want to give her a big shout out today. Both Jackie and Ann Waldron, who are our on the ground, letting us know. Oh, 5:30. Wow, that's quick. So it's 25 minutes. We'll be back at 5:30 for the final. But again, Jackie Cameron, our APTA tour director, and Ann Waldron, who's been helping me stay up with the scores and coordinating the matches. And there's a lot of moving parts that we're trying to pull off here.
Well,
but
Jerry,
what
it's
a match.
A well-oiled machine, and that was some match, and we'll look forward to a terrific final at 5:30.
Right. Fun doing the match with you, Brad. Thanks.
It was a pleasure.